Hey everyone, as you may or may not know, G Fuel Code Madness is going on right now, and we've got a chance to get our very own Immortal Shaker Cup. And coinciding with the tournament, as long as I am still in it, my code Immortal will get you 30% off your entire order. So feel free to grab literally anything on the site, and who knows, maybe on down the road we'll have our very own branded shaker. Anyways, on to today's video. Ladies and gentlemen, hey hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. This is a video that I've been sitting on for a minute, right? Because, well, here's the thing. Up until this point, we've gone out and ranked all of the ARs, all of the SMGs, all the LMGs, all the sniper and marksman rifles, all the pistols, and even all the DLC weapons. However, there is one category I have avoided because, well, they are pretty controversial. And of course, I am talking about the shotguns. No one, and I mean literally no one, likes running into one, let's just face it. I myself don't really even like to use them because, frankly, I know the feeling of dying to them all too well. And that's just a frustration I don't want to wish on anyone. But because we are all about the information here on the channel, and because this has been a very highly requested video, today, my friends, we are ranking all the shotguns as of right now, and also breaking down the best classes for each of them. So if you enjoy the video at any point, let me know by dropping a like on it. And of course, if you're new here, feel free to subscribe to stay up to date with the latest Call of Duty news and intel. Anyways, as far as the shotguns go this year, we honestly don't really have a ton of variety there, at least as of right now. We do just have the main four that were there when the game first launched, but on the Season 2 roadmap, we do have that classified weapon coming to the game at some point, and right now a lot of players are saying that's going to be the M26 shotgun, so perhaps in the semi-near future, we will have another shotty to break down. But for now, we've just got these standard four, all of which I would say are decent. There are some exceptions on both ends of the spectrum, and we'll be sure to mention those. But also, shotguns in general are a very hit or miss kind of weapon. Obviously, they are limited to close range engagements for the most part, so their versatility is very minimal. Now, that said, to this day, I still think the worst of the four shotties that we have is the Origin 12, but even though it is at the very bottom of the list, there's also a lot about this weapon that makes it pretty decent. For starters, it does have the ability to be spammed more than any other weapon we have in the category, as it does have the highest fire rates out of them all. And if you really wanted to just get absolutely crazy with it, you could even throw on the 25 round drum mags and just go to work. Although, for effectiveness, I would probably look elsewhere for an attachment spot. But hey, it is an option, and it's an incredibly fun one at that. The one major drawback of the Origin 12 though is going to be that damage, as by default it is the lowest out of all the shotguns, meaning those one-hit kills are going to be a lot less frequent unless you're basically in hugging distance of the enemy. Now, as far as my attachments go, for starters here I've got the muzzle choke, which, as you'll see throughout the video, is going to be a pretty common theme today, as this helps increase the damage range and also tighten the pellet spread, making it a bit more effective overall. Then I've got the Forged Tack Impaler Barrel, and this is basically going to do the exact same thing. It'll tighten the spread and also increase the range. So we're kind of doubling up on the efficiency improvements. I mean, hey, you can't go wrong with that. I also use the 5mW laser, as you are going to be firing from the hip for the majority of your engagements presumably, and that added accuracy and sprint to fire speed is going to be a massive benefit to have. Then I've got the no stock option to increase the overall movement speed and also the ADS speed, but really it is the movement speed increase that I'm focused on there. And finally, I've also got the grip tape. Well, actually, you know what? You guys already know what's coming. Let's let the random Italian voice from Google take this one.
Nastro antiscivolo punteggiato.
So yeah, all around this is going to make the Origin 12 a bit faster and more agile, and it's also going to make the range better as well. So you are going to be able to be more aggressive with it, and on smaller maps like Shoot House, Shipments, and even Hackney Yard, for example, it's going to be a really solid option for CQC engagements. But obviously, there are three shotties that I think are better than the Origin 12. However, things get a little complicated here. I so badly want to put the 725 at the number 3 spot. However, in its current state, the thing is beyond broken with the sawed-off barrel equipped. The sawed-off, for whatever reason, makes it more effective than ever, which is not the way it's supposed to be. It should not be mapping people, so here's my take on it. In its current state, while using the sawed-off barrel, the 725 is the number 2 shotgun. I'll explain why that is when we get to number 1. However, if and when the 725 returns to how it should be, I'd take it as the number 3 shotty, because it's only got 2 rounds, you're going to be constantly reloading, and its range should be somewhat limited anyways. So not a ton of firepower, a whole lot of time spent in a reloading animation, and what should be a mediocre range at best. That to me describes the 725 in what would be its balanced state, and in that state it just is not something to write home about. But regardless, my current go-to class consists of the choke muzzle for the same reasons as before, the sawed-off barrel if you do want to get the most out of it, since this is the attachment that breaks it, but I will say, I genuinely feel bad using this. It's stupid how strong this thing is up close, and it's not a class I'd like to run into whatsoever, but in the interest of information without bias, it is the best barrel to use as it stands. Then I've got the 5mm laser once again, the sawed-off stock for better mobility, and also the slim grip guard for a better aim down sight speed and also a better sprint to fire speed. And honestly, there's not much more that needs to be said about this one. This setup to me does make it the number 2 shotty, but once it's patched and correctly balanced, this won't be nearly as effective. So I am sort of preemptively putting it at number 3. I'm sure some people might disagree with that, but let's be real here. Everyone is tired of dying to this thing, so yeah, there's that. Now at the number 2 spot, I've got the R9O, which I think is an incredibly fun weapon to use, after you get a hang of its unique attributes. This thing is a semi-auto shotty, right? Kind of like the Origin 12. However, you also have to pump it after every 2 shots. So going on an absolute tear with it can sometimes be shut down by the time you spend pumping it. You know, it's not just a continuous stream of destruction. But like I said, after you do force that into your playstyle, the R9O is a pretty good weapon in my own opinion. Its range is surprisingly decent. On shipments, for instance, you can take out people on the opposite end of the middle area if you're lucky, and also if they're kind of clueless. But also up close, you can get quite a few one-hit kills if your aim is on point. So here, once again, I am using the muzzle choke for the better range primarily. Then I've got the Forged Tack Sentry Barrel, which also increases the range and tightens the pellet spread even more. I also use the 5mm laser for the same reasons as before, the Merc foregrip for those situations where I do end up aiming down sights, since it provides a better ADS speed and more recoil control. And finally, Italian voice, do your thing.
Nastro antiscivolo punteggiato.
Now, this class really makes the R9O even better at a range. Obviously, it's a shotgun, so you won't be mapping people with it per se. However, it is definitely a step up from its stock form, and in general, it is a very solid shotty to use when it comes down to it. Of course, though, by process of elimination, the number 1 shotgun in my mind as it stands right now is the Model 680, as I find this one to be the most consistent out of them all. It feels very similar to the Spaz 12 from MW2, being that it is a pump shotgun, and with the following attachments on it, its range is pretty ridiculous, and its power is really good from my experience while using it. Like most weapons in the game, it does have its inconsistencies, but comparatively speaking, the Model 680 I find to be the most dominant shotgun all around. Now, for the final time today, I've got the choke for my muzzle attachment, I've got the 30-inch sport barrel for better range, a tighter spread and an increased tube ammo capacity, the 5mm laser once more, the no stock option for better mobility, and the sleight of hand weapon perk simply for a more aggressive setup. However, that one is based a bit more on personal preference. But ultimately, this is my favorite shotty to use as of right now, as it completely dominates shipments and it holds its own on a variety of other maps as well. Anyways, with all of that being said, that is effectively how I would rank all the shotguns here in Modern Warfare, and that is going to wrap things up for today. If you guys enjoyed the video, let me know by dropping a like on it, and of course, if you're new here and you want to stay up to date with the latest Call of Duty news and intel, updates and leaks, and pretty much everything else in between, feel free to subscribe with your notifications turned on. That way you'll always know when I post a new video. As I mentioned earlier, right now COD Immortal will get you 30% off your G Fuel order since we are a part of the COD Madness tournament, and if we win it all, we get our very own Immortal Shaker Cup. So literally, if you grab anything from the site, from a starter pack to a Shaker Cup to a tub, not only do you get to save some extra money, but you also get us one step closer to that custom shaker as well. But once again, thanks so much for tuning in, and until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.